Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're plunging into the story of a band today that, well, they really defy any easy labels. Pioneers, yes, but constantly shifting, constantly surprising. We are talking about Bad Brains. That legendary American band, punk rock band technically, formed in Washington, D.C. way back in 1976. And our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack their, unexpected origins, follow their incredible genre-bending journey, and try to grasp the huge legacy they've left. Seriously influential stuff. Yeah, get ready for some twists because, how does a band known for just sheer speed and aggression also master reggae? And how did that whole journey become this testament to their unique philosophy, even with all the chaos?
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because, yeah, everyone calls them hardcore punk pioneers, and they absolutely were. But the band themselves, they've actually pushed back against that label. So we're going to dig into why that is and why they're just so much more than any single category could hold. They just refuse to be boxed in.
Okay, let's dive right into that surprising start then. Because, you hear Bad Brains, you think punk intensity, right? But they actually started out playing jazz fusion. Seriously. Back in 1976, they formed as Mind Power, and they were modeling themselves after bands like Return to Forever, Mahavishnu Orchestra, really complex technical stuff.
That's absolutely right. And that jazz background, it wasn't just something they ditched. You can kind of hear it underneath,
Right.
That technical skill, that unpredictable energy in their hardcore. It really set them apart from a lot of the raw punk bands. Then came the big shift, 1977. Their singer at the time, Sid McRae, he introduced them to punk rock. And bam, it was like a light switch flipped. Mind Power decided, right, we're doing this hardcore punk. And they renamed themselves Bad Brains after that Ramones song, Bad Brain. Perfect fit, really.
Right, but here's where that classic Bad Brains paradox kicks in almost immediately. Each as they're diving headfirst into punk, they see Bob Marley live. And that concert just blows them away. They get deeply into reggae music and, crucially, the Rastafari movement. They become followers.
Exactly. So you've got this dual thing happening. On one side, the absolute visceral power of punk. And on the other, this spiritual Rasta consciousness and the deep groove of reggae. And that wasn't just, a little side interest. It became totally fundamental to who they were as a band right through their whole career.
And you could feel that right away in D.C. Their early impact was, electric. They built this fan base super quickly. People were drawn to these incredibly high-energy shows, and then, boom, they just drop into a reggae track.
Right.
Sometimes it felt jarring, but it was always soulful. It was like nothing else happening. Challenging,
Oh, yeah. Challenging is a good word. And that raw, almost uncontrollable energy, it definitely had consequences. Which leads us straight to the whole band in D.C. thing. By '79, the sheer destructive energy maybe of their fans at shows meant a lot of D.C. clubs just said, nope, not having it. Blacklisted them.
And they channeled that frustration right into that iconic song, Band in D.C.
Right. And that whole episode, that early conflict, it tells you so much about their just raw power and their completely uncompromising way of doing things. They weren't just playing gigs, they were sparking something. And some places just couldn't handle it.
Sparking is definitely the word. And you couldn't keep that kind of fire contained in D.C. for long. So naturally, they kind of exploded onto the New York scene around 1980.
Yeah, they moved up to NYC, and man, they were like throwing fuel on the fire there. That city's hardcore scene was just starting to bubble up, and Bad Brains were a massive catalyst. Inspired a whole wave of bands.
Became icons there pretty quickly. By '82, they were regulars at CBGB, the legendary spot. Their influence was so undeniable. Dr. No, the guitarist, he even said, this whole Sunday matinee thing is from us. They were literally shaping the scene.